Welcome to this lecture on telecommunications and ISPs, and now we are going to deal with a special subject. It's more or less the consequence of European lawmaking which had its effect into the United States. So we are going now into this special privacy shield framework. What is important to know is that because of the quite strict privacy regulations in Europe and a court case which was surrounding the Facebook issues in Europe, and as a consequence the old mechanism, which was called safe harbor principles, was no longer applicable, could no longer be applied because the Supreme Court, well, no, the Court of Justice in Europe said it could not work in this way. So Privacy Shield was a new arrangement framework between the US and the European Union and Switzerland, and it provides for a mechanism so that companies on both sides of the Atlantic can really comply with all kinds of data protection requirements. So the Privacy Shield framework is a framework that enables companies, European companies, to operate in the United States and American companies to operate in Europe, whereby abiding to the laws which surround privacy. What is important to know is that the administration of the companies that have been allowed to or are certified to work with the exchange of data, because normally under European law it's forbidden to exchange data with a country that doesn't have the same reciprocal protection. So this means that it needs to be administered which companies are certified to deal with the European Union and in the exchange of data. That's being done by the International Trade Administration within the US Department of Commerce. To join from a US-based company that wants to join this Privacy Shield framework, they have to fill in and they have to self-certify on a website of the Department of Commerce to in what way they are going to abide to the rules of the European Union. And then again, I would like to call back on for instance, the 1980 OECD principles. You will see that let's say the basic underlying principles, even in this Privacy Shield, but also in all kind of different laws that have been enacted also in the United States, it's always these, let's say, fair information principles underlying a whole bunch of principles, a whole bunch of different approaches towards, legal approaches towards protecting individuals' privacies. Again, you need to notice people, there needs to be security in place, who has access to the data that is being done, in what way can we complain on the other side of the ocean and things like that. So that's all within the framework of the Privacy Shield. On the other hand, for instance, a lot of companies have, let's say, daughters within Europe, or they have a daughter in the United States. So how do they then have to work together so that they so within the corporation, within the organization, can really start to comply with the rules of privacy protection? And for that, there have been developed a system of binding corporate rules, and that allows multinational organizations to find out, so to speak, or to make sure that under what, let's say, the policy they have, the binding corporate rules they have, in what way they are allowed to transfer personal data across the borders, taking into account the European data protection laws. What is important to know then is that the privacy policy that you have within those companies, so within the company, the practices and the processes and the guidelines you have, they need to satisfy EU standards. And as a consequence, the the way in which these means of authorizing works. So in what way are personal data, customer data, or employee data are being allowed outside of the European Union. All these things are in those binding corporate rules. Now we come to the end of the module on ISPs and telecommunications. We have walked through a whole series of different elements, legal elements that might play a role in designing IT, crypto, and security systems. I hope also that you have understood in what way privacy protection and the rule of law work out of the United States. So thank you for watching this module.